the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcomed here.
Look at somebody beautiful and say, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant.
So, oh, my soul is welcome here.
Oh, my soul is welcomed here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
Said, oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, it is. Oh, my soul is welcomed here.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul
is welcomed here.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is.
Come on, put your hands together.
My soul is welcome here.
Come on, say, my soul.
My soul is welcome here.
Said, your soul is welcome.
My soul is welcome here.
Everybody's soul is welcome.
Is welcome.
Come on, here we go. Yeah.
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Come on, y'all.
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome.
Said, I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
All right, we're getting wound up.
Awake?
Alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic about life this morning.
Yes, we are. And it is my honor and privilege in this moment to greet you in the name of all that is holy, all that is sacred, all that is loving and beautiful, and in the spirit of this ministry, Spiritual Life Center. And if you're here for the first time, or you've been here 1,000 times, if you're in your jammies watching live streaming, you're equally welcome. And we know that you aren't here by accident today, right? But by
a divine appointment.
So thank you for keeping your appointment today.
So let's take a moment and rest assured that we're surrounded by a sea of divine and perfect love. And this loving presence is always for us, never takes any time off. Our job is simply to be open and receptive to it. And as we come under its government and guidance, we will be led to say what needs to be said. We will hear with spiritual ears, and we'll take action in the outer world in order to anchor a little bit more of heaven in this dimension. We're blessed to be the vessels and the vehicles of pure spirit. And during this Thanksgiving season, we appreciate the opportunity to be those vessels. For we are the way that the presence of God gets around in this world. And as we go forth with this awareness and this energy of gratitude and thanksgiving, we know that everything begins to unfold in its right and perfect way. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
So it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So our annual Thanksgiving communion will be presented this Wednesday. Can you believe it? Reverend Deborah Phillips, Becca Costello, Reverend Louise Bizarre, Elaine LaRoa, the whole team's going to be there with music. Soup will be at 6. The program will be at 7. This is not your normal communion service. This is our special kind of communion service. So please join us for that. Also, SLC is happy to welcome Michelle Nevis of the Aura Caregiver Resource Center. Hi, Michelle.
So good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. We recently received a donation from Spiritual Life Center, and so I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to you all for supporting our work. And Del Oro actually helps support families who are caregiving, providing care for a loved one in their home. And we serve a multitude of different diagnoses that they may be caring for: Alzheimer's, stroke, Parkinson's, among other diagnoses. And we do everything from respite care to give the primary caregiver a break, to legal services, counseling, education and training, and support groups. And so if you are a caregiver in this season, please let us know if we can be of help and support to you. I do have literature out in the foyer or in the lobby, and I'll be there after service as well. So thank you again for your support and the opportunity to share our services with you all today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Michelle, for the wonderful work that your organization is doing for the community. Also, we want to bring to your attention that you have a holiday calendar that's in your bulletin, and you can keep that with you so you can not miss out on any of the programs or the services that are taking place this holiday season, and you can share it with your family and your friends and those that you would like to see friends. Maybe you want to convert them from something else to, from a frenemy to a friend. Anyway.
On Wednesday, November 29th, we have Winter's Eve, Lady of the Lake. This is the Lawson family, Lisa and Michael and Cameron, along with Kathy Apple and our very own, ta-da, John Gardner. He should have had a name tag, if he didn't have that. They're going to be performing at the Harris Center and on our very own platform, so please don't miss it. It's a Celtic celebration, so mark your calendars for November 29th.
And just to remind you, also, our You'll Love It Winter Mingle is fast approaching on December the 8th. It's a casual holiday celebration, and there'll be prizes for the most outrageous outfit. And as I recall, Becca said she's already got hers, so you're going to have to try to catch up with her. And who knows, I may come up with something that you've never even seen before in your life. So the good news is coming up fast. The not so good news, there's only about 20 tickets left. So if you want to get yours, move fast.
But stay during the service. You
Yes.
can go move fast after the service is over.
Everything's shut down until after the service.
You got to do that. This Sunday marks the beginning of our annual Christmas tree giving. That's where there are little gift tags on the trees for kids who are in need and their wishes for Christmas. So you can pick up one of the tags and purchase the gifts and bring them unwrapped back by December 17th. So you've got now until then to go ahead and get your gifts.
And next Sunday, we're going to welcome Dr. Gail Darren, and her talk is entitled, What's Love Got to Do With It? Do With It. Anyway, that's going to be happening next Sunday. I think she's going to do it a lot better than I can sing it. She weaves humor and great wisdom together for an unforgettable message and the presence of music with Ann and Steve Roach. So you don't want to miss out on this for this very special Thanksgiving service.
And he didn't sing to the first service. I just want you guys to know how special you are.
Yeah. See, now you know. Mm-hmm. And Julian Durante is going to be here December the 3rd. And also just a reminder, I think that's Marathon Sunday. So, don't be like me, forgetting that. And then you have to go all around town to get here. But anyways, Julie's going to be here, and she's going to be talking about God is love and nothing else, and also have a workshop that afternoon.
Okay, and is the race route on our website? Maybe? Could be?
I'm affirming that it is.
Okay, so you can look that up to see if you're going to get blocked. So, have you ever been so excited by January that you think the holidays are just something in between now and then? No, you've never felt that, right? Usually January is so blah. It's, anticlimactic. The parties are over, the cookies are gone, you have to go back to work. But this January, we've got some really special programs. The Women of Spirit will have Mary Youngblood there on January 6th. We have the MLK Walk, which is always a great time, January 15th. We have a full weekend with Don Miguel Jr. and his brother Don Jose Ruiz, and that's going to be January 19th through the 21st. And then we also have the first Q program of 2018. So there's lots going on in January if you survive the holidays, right?
They will survive.
They'll survive.
We know that. And we want to acknowledge a couple of groups of people that are very important to our community. Our ambassadors and prayer chaplains, if they're here this morning, if they would mind standing. And of course, the ambassadors are wearing the rainbow ribbons, and they are here to offer a warm welcome, to answer questions that you may have about Spiritual Life Center, point you in the right direction as to how you can connect with our programs and activities. And the chaplains are doing the very important work of holding the consciousness for each individual here, as well as Spiritual Life Center. And they're available for prayer right after the service, and they're here in this room or in the courtyard in which you can have prayer as well.
And if you're here for the very first time, in a minute I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. If you're streaming for the first time, you can raise your hand now and just leave it up for the rest of the service. But we want you to know we have a welcome card for you that we'll be giving you in a moment. You can just fill it out and put it in the offering basket or bring it out to the welcome table, and there'll be a special gift there for you when you turn it in.
So if any first-timers here today, just raise your hand, any first-timers? Oh,
Okay,
let's keep your hands up.
Be persistent.
Yes, well, thank you for your presence. And we're handing out to you right now what they call a chalet. And we ask you to wear that so you can get that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And on the chalet, there's a tag that reminds us the truth of who we are. And it says that we believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And there are many paths to the one God. So we thank you for joining with us today on your path. And we appreciate your presence and the consciousness that you're bringing and the love that you share with us today. So at this time, we'd like to welcome and greet our newcomers as well as each other. Just say, you look marvelous. So glad that you're here today.
Marvelous. So glad you're here today.
Please stay standing. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together. Blessed day. Blessed day. Blessed day. A blessed day. God is here to bless our days. God is here to bless our days. God is here to bless our days forever. God is here to bless our days. God is here to bless our days. God is here to bless our days forever. Blessed day. Blessed day. Blessed day. A blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together. Blessed day. Blessed day. Blessed day. A blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day. We will have a blessed day together.
So settling into that blessed energy. And now is the more meditative part of our service, and we ground ourselves in our vision statement. So please speak it with me, if you will. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now please join us in our chant. Thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Celebrating our Faith in Action season, we embrace gratitude. And as we turn within for meditation, we open our hearts in appreciation, thanking God for all that is. Breathing into our heart's center, we soften and relax. Let your thoughts dissolve. Allow a feeling of peace and calm to wash over you. All is well. In this season of Thanksgiving, we are drawn to reflect and embrace the gifts of gratitude. Temperatures outside are cooling. Colors are changing. We begin to slow down as darkness arrives early, calling us home to spend time in inward reflection. We connect with the sense that all is well. This knowing brings a sense of warmth and contentment, filling our hearts and our souls. Compassion expands as the truth of infinite love washes over you, filling every cell with gratitude. There is always something to be thankful for. Even with our differences and struggles, we have reason
to celebrate. By shifting into gratitude, we open and expand. Our burdens feel lighter. We offer thanks for the gift of life and God within. We are grateful for our freedom to choose and express, to agree or disagree. We are blessed and thankful to have clean water and healthy food to fuel our bodies. We offer gratitude for family, biological or created in spirit, whether they are two-legged or four. Family comes in all shapes and sizes, and we are grateful for time spent together and time spent apart. We are grateful for our health and the ability to heal. We offer thanks for our journey to wholeness, whether we are at the beginning or nearing the end. We give thanks for our days on this planet and our ability to dream our next destiny. We give thanks for Mother Nature, who nurtures us with her beauty. As gratitude swells within us, we connect with our beloved God, giving thanks for our spiritual practice and the gift of prayer. We give thanks for friends and community who love and support us, who challenge us to dance in our glory and challenge us to stay centered and calm. We are blessed by the ability to love and the willingness to forgive. We give thanks for our challenges that stretch us and teach us how to live. So take a moment in the silence to reflect upon someone or something that fills you with gratitude. Let this feeling of gratitude expand to our community and outward into the world. As we send this love and gratitude, let it bring comfort and hope where it is needed. And as we return to this room, we give our heartfelt thanks for you, for celebrating the season with us, for choosing gratitude, and for bringing pie. And so it is.
Spiritual Life Center Choir for bringing that music of the spheres and reminding us there's so much for us to be grateful for. I was mentioning earlier that I feel that I should be giving a representation or an introduction to an artist this week. For the last 7 weeks, we had artists coming up with Faith in Action with a particular demonstration or artistic representation of what we have. So I don't know. Next week, I may just have to randomly pick some of y'all to come up here and give us a representation of what we're talking about. But welcome to Gratitude Sunday. I shared earlier that I was at the Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton event Friday at the Harris Center. I don't know if anybody else was there. Yeah, a few folks were there, yes. And yeah, they were great. What I really got out of it, because there was a whole lot of information they gave us. But the way that I broke it down, at least from my understanding, my perception, was that they were scientifically proving and backing up the ideas that the mystics and the pre-teachers have been bringing for thousands of years. And they were saying in so many words that consciousness is the cause of everything that we see. It's a thing called consciousness that is uncaused, that explains some of the inexplicable. And so the essence of what I took away from all of that was that consciousness is causal. And I'll talk more about that later. But there was a very interesting part that they presented, and they were talking about the genetic makeup of human beings, and they were comparing that to the chimpanzees. And he said that, 99.9% of our makeup with chimpanzees is pretty much the same, but there's that 1% difference that makes it so that we can have folks up here singing, and someone conducting, someone listening. If you had put a whole bunch of chimpanzees up here, I think you'd have a whole different experience. Although I will say, we probably from time to time revert back to that level. We forgot about that 1%. But by and large, that 1% makes all the difference. That one little percent of our genetic makeup. So in the same vein, there's a statement by W. Clement Stone, who is an author, a philanthropist, as well as a spiritual teacher. And he says that there's very little difference between people. But that little difference makes a big difference. And that little difference is consciousness. That little difference is that consciousness, whether it's positive or it's negative. And one of the things that enhances a positive consciousness is having an attitude of gratitude and an attitude of appreciation. Because we know that whatever we give our attention to, whatever we're grateful for, it expands. Maybe that's the reason there's that scriptural reference that says that in all things give thanks. And it didn't say for all things, but in that there's something that we can find as a benefit. And if we focus on that, give our attention for that, appreciate that, it will begin to expand. There was a teacher who really understood this. One time my wife and my son and I went to one of the student back to school night, I think they called it. And it was one of the meetings we had was with the geometry teacher. And during the meeting, she had pointed out there are a lot of students who believe that they're not good at mathematics. And she went on to explain to all of the parents who were there that she was able to get her students who didn't feel good about math to feel okay about it, to feel okay about their ability regardless of their skill level, or what knowledge that they thought they had or didn't have. And she brought up an analogy. She said that everyone is good at something. We all have a gift. Some students were good at math. Some good students were good at music. Others were good in English. Others were good at art, whatever the case may be. And she used the analogy that each subject is like a rubber band in the mind, in our brain. And some of the rubber bands are large. The big rubber bands, the big cover big areas, because that represents the areas that they're good at. And then there's some rubber bands that are kind of little. That represents that which they don't believe that they're good at. And she went on to explain that when a student is praised about a subject matter that they're good at, then that rubber band begins to expand. And when a student is put down or when a student is somehow criticized for not doing well in a particular subject area, that rubber band begins to contract. And so the teacher let all the parents know that her job was to not only praise students for what they do well, but also find the positive things, no matter how small, in the subject area that they don't necessarily feel they do well, they're not gifted in. And said when she praises them for that small thing, it changes the attitude of the student from a negative perception of themselves to a positive perception of themselves about that subject matter. And what was viewed as a weakness now is seen from a new perception, a new perspective. And she said, inevitably, the students who think they're not good at math improve their math skills. Something within their awareness, something within their consciousness had changed. A new belief had occurred that had not been there before. It's just a reminder of that which we appreciate appreciates, becomes more than it had been before. And that appreciation is often triggered by something within our awareness. Consciousness is causal. It stems from what we believe. And I think the key to determine our belief comes by asking this one question. And this was brought up by Bruce Lipton and the other gentleman that was with him. What's his name? Greg Braden, yes. Okay, thank you. I see somebody's paying attention. They're listening. He says they're asking this one question. And that one question is, who are we? And everything stems from that perception. You know, sometimes when we're on the spiritual path and we're studying the ancient wisdom teachings, you know, we may have problems sometimes. Because oftentimes we work so hard on ourselves to keep our attention, and we keep our attention to what's wrong with us. We look at what's the mistakes that we've made in our life, rather than what's right about us, what's true about us, what's real and authentic about us. So sometimes we keep repeating and perpetuating the same things over and over again, and it keeps us stuck in a certain place. But to move beyond that place, we must expand our awareness. So we don't spend time beating up ourselves about what's wrong, what's missing, what's not right. We put our attention about what's real, what's true about our being. You know, I remember years ago, I had a friend, acquaintance, and he had gone through a lot in his life. You know, I think he had some ailments that, you know, kept him in pain on a regular basis. His wife had passed away, and his son had had some tragic things happen in his life. He had a lot of downs in his business, but he always had a sense of joy every day, despite all that he was going through. And most of us around him were wondering, just marveling at his ability to keep that positive approach. And we would ask him, how was he able to stay in that sense of joy and appreciation and gratitude despite all the things he was experiencing? But more importantly, we were asking, you know, what is it that we can do to get where you are? And he said one of the things that happens is that we often tell ourselves the wrong things. We speak to ourselves in language that does not uplift us. So oftentimes what passes through our awareness is all the negativity that's going on in our life, what's going on in this world. And so all the things we say to ourselves, oh, these things are going bad, it's not enough good, it's not enough this, not enough love, not enough all positive things in our life. And he said, we have the wrong words that we're using to describe who we are. We want to lift our awareness so that we are constantly saying to ourselves the truth of our being, that the power and the presence and love of God is right where we are. Therefore, we have availability to it all of the time. And we can do that regardless of the circumstances that we may be experiencing. Losing some of my, okay, let's get it back together here, James. You know, I was part of a nonprofit years ago, and they were celebrating their anniversary. Maybe it was, 15 years later. And I knew it from the beginning when I was helping them out. I was on their board, and they were reminiscing about how they had set the vision for their next stage of their development. And at that point, after doing all of the planning, it was time to move forward. And they were asking, well, how much money do we have? And they looked around and they said, we got $170. Not too much for this big vision that they had. But they decided that, they wanted to move forward anyway, even though it looked like they were barely going to survive. It looked kind of bleak if you look at the facts. However, that appearance of limitation didn't make any difference in their decision making. They knew they had to reveal their vision of that community. And they ended up extremely successful. And we may ask, why were they able to do that? Well, first of all, they were grateful for what they had. And when they were appreciative of what they had, they began to think from that space. They began to think from that connection to that spiritual presence. And they did not make a decision from the seeming lack or limitation that was taking place or apparent in the organization's status at that time. They came from a place that was uncaused. They came from that higher consciousness, because consciousness is causal. And sometimes when we come from that limited space, we end up producing the very limitation that we do not want. So we always want to make a decision from that expanded space. That space is within that appreciation. So we don't move until we're moved by the Spirit. We don't move until we're feeling our connection with that. This transformation in having the power of gratitude and appreciation. And sometimes it's very simple. We don't have to know a whole lot. We don't have to know about the law of dynamics. We don't have to know about, the law of cause and effect or, Einstein's theory of relativity. We just need to be able to know that there's something around us that we can appreciative of. And we'll begin to make that part of our awareness, and then we'll expect something good to happen. Remember there was a woman who was diagnosed to have maybe 3 or 4 months to live. But she was content with that. She was okay that she had lived a great life. And so she went to her minister and said, listen, if I make my transition in the next few months, understand it's no big deal. It's going to be all right. But when it comes to that time, what I want you to do, I want you to put a fork in my hand when I'm in the casket. I just wanted to be there. And so the minister looked at her a little curiously and said, well, okay, you want a fork in your hand in the casket? So she went on to explain what that was all about. She said that, when people come to my memorial service, I wanted them to know that one thing I loved about this church is that they had so many great potlucks, kind of like Spiritual Life Center. And that whenever it came to the end of the meal, they brought out their forks because I knew that something good was coming, that the dessert was going to be something spectacular. It wasn't going to be some Jell-O. It's probably going to be some pie like we have here today. Some peach cobbler, some cake or something like that. And if they ever brought out their forks and showed it, then we knew it was going to be a great dessert. So just put a fork in my hand in order to let people know that I'm expecting something good to happen. Anyway, always expect the good. I think all is possible when we're in that flow. The choice is always ours. We're here to enter a co-creative relationship with this presence, this power that we call God, because we have the choice to choose what world we're going to live in. And the headlines that we see, they mean less and less and less, except to realize that there's opportunities for us to pray, to see it from a higher point of view. Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton, I don't know which one said it, but my interpretation is that they were reminding us that there are systems and there are structures that can never be repaired in this society in which we live. Things are beginning to fall apart. Things are beginning to break down because they're simply too small for the energy that is about to come through. That we're no longer a nation. We're a planet, interconnected. We've always have been. And there's still some individuals who are living in the myopic, small point of view, my country right or wrong, or trying to dominate the rest of the world. But there's a large culture that is emerging that realizes there are no boundaries or borders on the very planet in which we live. There's only one race. There's only one people. There's only one planet. And people are emerging in that consciousness. And these old structures, as they try to keep them together, they just don't work anymore. And that's a good thing. It may be seen to be chaotic and disruptive, but something is trying to break through. Because every time someone tries to erect a new law, a new kind of way to separate people, people find themselves anyway. Something is happening. And all of the news would tell you how bad everything is. When we look between the lines, when we begin to practice that appreciation, begin to be grateful in all things, we see that something wonderful is taking place. Something that doesn't work anymore means something new is about to be born. A new vitality, a new energy, a new love, a new way of being, a new way of sharing. I think we're here not to stop the negative experiences from happening in our life and in our world, but to see them from a different perspective. Realize that as we grow into the awareness that we are here to evolve, and that becomes our predominant thought form, as that becomes the way that we begin to see life. And we say to ourselves, I am here to grow. I'm here to evolve to my greatest yet to be. I'm here to be more than I thought was possible in my life. Then we look at every situation that befalls us as a kernel on which transformation can take place. They'll become stepping stones to a greater expression of reality. We realize that we're never, ever victimized by circumstance or situation, whether it be national situations, globally, individually. We see them as an opening for us to grow to our greatest expression of the presence of God. As long as we have that appreciative consciousness. Come what may with presidents, come what may with governments, come what may with economics, come what may with the moving tides of this world of phenomenon, things that go up and down. There is something that has changed. There is something that is absolute, that cannot and will not be moved by external circumstances. And that is our consciousness. And we want to keep it upward. Consciousness is causal. It's saying to us, come on home. It's saying to us, know who you really are, and that it's good, that life is wonderful. It's calling out our name. You know, I think with authentic gratitude and appreciation, we walk into a future knowing that whatever happens, because we live in a progressive and a friendly universe that can never ever contradict itself, that there is an opportunity, a gift, and latent talents and capabilities that are waiting to be expressed. You know, I was reflecting upon that program on Friday evening. And what I walked away from is that, you know, we're at a time in history where everyone here knows that everyone can be fed. Everyone on the planet can be clothed. Everyone can be educated. It can happen right here and now. And there's no scarcity of anything. You know, the world is 33/4 water. There's no drought anywhere, but we have to change our perspective, see the possibilities. And then with ease and grace, we'll bring this way of living into our world. You know, as we begin to catch the vision of what's possible, giving appreciation for those possibilities. Recognizing that, yes, our consciousness, that which is uncaused, causes that to express itself in our world. We requalify all the things that seemingly are seen as needs as just opportunities for us to come up higher. And this is the power that we can express when we bring the gratitude and appreciation to the situation. And we can have that in this Thanksgiving season and every single day of our life. So as we celebrate this Thanksgiving time, let us be appreciative and thankful each and every day, knowing that that appreciation will bring us even more into our life experiences. So let us be thankful for all the light that surrounds us. Let's be thankful for all the caregivers that inspired us. Let's be thankful for all the men and women who risked their lives to protect our freedom. Let's be thankful for the blue tint in the sky and the beauty of our natural world. Let's be thankful for the heart that drums through us each and every day. Let's be thankful for, last night's sleep, no matter how much it was or how much it wasn't. Let's be thankful for the gifts of free will, of volition, of endurance that we've been born with. Let's be thankful for the members of our family that have been mentors. Let's be thankful for those that we don't like, who have been our instructors and teachers. Let's be thankful that we're living deeper into the presence of God. Let's be thankful for the luck that has advanced me, you, away from disasters, tribulations that have all educated us along the way. As we express those things in our life each and every day, we raise the energetic field to see more of the good in our life and in our world. And we can say, thank you, God. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And as the choir is coming in, we create a kind of a gratitude card that will also mail out. They're going to be at the welcome table as well as the information table. And it says this. In fact, why don't you just say it with me as I read part of it at a time. A one, a two, a three. I express gratitude for the good in my life. I see positive possibilities all around. I live in thanksgiving every day. And so it is, and so we let it be. You can take that with you, hold that in your consciousness, see how it makes a difference in the very vibrations of every cell in your body temple, and see the good that is around you all of the time. And with that, let us prepare for our love offering and our gifts, knowing that we're getting to the flow of giving and receiving, knowing that whatever we give out comes back to us in ways we never possibly imagined, because that is the nature of the universe. That is the nature of God. That is the nature of spirit. And so let us say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Breeze
They have sung the truth that we indeed are blessed. And then at the same time, we bless the tithes and offerings, knowing they're going to bless the givers and receivers. And as we bring an attitude of appreciation and gratitude to our life, knowing that we can give thanks in all things, we know it will increase and even bring us more blessings in our life and in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let's join together. Just a reminder again, on December 3rd, it's the California International Marathon. So if you have to cross Highway 50 to Watt Avenue, you have to take another route or come, like I do. I just leave really early before they start. So with that, let's join together and sing our peace song.